Have you ever felt like you're just a character in a story that someone else is writing? Well, today we're diving into Brianna Weist's 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. It's a collection of ideas that promises to help you, finally, take back the pen.
Think about it. From the moment we're born, a narrative starts to unfold. It's a story with heroes, villains, big wins, and some really unexpected plot twists. We all get this on some level.
But here's the catch, the really unsettling truth for so many of us. It often feels like that story is being written for us, not by us. We find ourselves just reacting to a plot we never chose, being pushed around by these powerful forces we don't even recognize.
So, this explainer is all about understanding those subconscious forces that have been writing our story, so we can finally, consciously, become the author of our own lives. Okay, so where do we even begin? The entire foundation of Weist's work really boils down to one single transformative idea. Your internal world, the landscape of your thoughts and beliefs, is literally the blueprint for your external reality. This piece of wisdom from Carl Jung is really the key to everything. The book argues that what we often just write off as fate or bad luck is actually just our unexamined, subconscious programming playing out over and over again. It's like we're following an invisible script we never even knew we were handed.
And this leads to a really profound shift in how you see things. See, we tend to believe our circumstances create our thoughts. We think, I'm unhappy because my job sucks. But Weiss flips that completely. Your mind is the cause, not the effect. The thoughts you hold are the architects of your experience. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your mind.
So if our subconscious is secretly running the show, how do we peek behind the curtain? Well, the next crucial step is to start identifying those hidden barriers, the mental roadblocks that keep us stuck in all those old patterns.
One of the biggest roadblocks is what psychology calls our shadow selves. Just imagine all the parts of your personality that, at some point, you were taught to push down. Maybe as a kid, you were told that being ambitious was selfish, or that being angry was bad. You didn't just stop being ambitious or angry, you just learned to hide those parts in the shadows.
But here's the thing. Those shadows don't just go away. They pop up in our lives in really subtle and often destructive ways. For example, that intense, irrational anger you feel at someone else, a lot of the time, that's just self-recognition. You're seeing a part of yourself that you've disowned. The things we absolutely hate in other people are often the exact traits we refuse to see in ourselves. Sometimes we even create drama and crises just to avoid the scary work of looking inward. We spend so much energy trying to change everyone else when the real work is right here, inside of us.
Now, here's another huge roadblock, and it's a real glitch in our thinking. We think we know what's going to make us happy in the future. But the truth is, our brains are wired for survival, not for predicting happiness. So when we imagine our perfect future, we're not actually creating anything new. We're just recycling old solutions to old problems. We're trying to build a new tomorrow with the blueprints of yesterday.
Understanding all these roadblocks is a great first step, but just being aware isn't enough, right? So how do we actually start to tear them down and build a new way of thinking? This section is all about the practical tools you can use to forge that new mindset.
Now, this is a brilliant and totally counterintuitive way to look at things. We're all taught to see fear as a stop sign, right? A warning that we're going the wrong way. But Weist argues the complete opposite. Fear isn't a signal to run away. It's a signal that you care, that you're actually invested. The real sign that you're on the wrong path isn't fear. It's indifference. If you feel nothing, you have nothing to lose. Fear means you're onto something important.
The next tool is one of the most powerful, and it's simply a daily routine. Now, this isn't about being rigid and boring. It's about creating a foundation of psychological safety. Your daily habits literally create your mood. By making the start of your day predictable, you switch off your brain's primal fight-or-flight instinct, which is always scanning for threats. This frees up a ton of mental energy, and that allows you to get into that state of deep focus or flow. And every time you stick to your routine, you're reinforcing your own conscious choices, and that builds a quiet but really powerful sense of purpose. And this all leads to a whole new definition of happiness. It's not found in that endless, frantic chase for more, better, different. It's discovered by cultivating a deeper, richer appreciation for the life that you already have, right here in front of you.
We've all been there. You read the books, you listen to the advice, you know exactly what you should be doing, but you just don't do it. This next section is all about bridging that incredibly frustrating gap between knowing something and actually doing it.
You know, the ancient Greeks had a word for this. They called it akrisia. Today, we just call it procrastination or self-sabotage. It's that baffling human experience of knowing the best thing to do, but then doing something else anyway. It's probably the single biggest obstacle to making any real change in our lives.
So how do we finally get across that gap? Well, the solution is to just reverse the equation. Stop trying to think your way into new actions. It is so much more effective to act your way into a new way of thinking. Action is what creates momentum. So just start with one small, almost ridiculously easy thing today. And then protect that momentum by doing the most important things first before the day has a chance to get in the way. This piece of Stoic wisdom offers a final, really powerful way to look at this. We see obstacles as things that block our path. But what if the obstacle is the path? Every single challenge forces us to develop new strengths, new skills, new perspectives. The problem isn't in your way. The problem is the way forward.
And now, we bring all of these ideas together. This isn't just about changing a few thoughts or building a few habits anymore. This is about consciously stepping into the identity of the person you truly want to become.
The first and most essential step is to have a clear, vivid idea of your best self. And I don't mean in vague terms, I mean in detail. Who is this person? How do they walk and talk? How do they think? What do they actually do each day? Before you can become this person, you first have to be able to imagine them. We torture ourselves with this question, but it's an impossible question to answer. It's way too big, it's paralyzing, and it just keeps us trapped in anxiety instead of taking real action. It's like trying to write an entire novel before you've even written the first sentence.
Here's the alternative, and it is infinitely more powerful. Your life isn't some far-off abstract thing. Your life is the sum of your days. It's what you're doing right now. By focusing all your energy on what you can do today, you shift from being a passive worrier to an active creator. You build the life you want, one day, one choice at a time. So, let this become your new guide. Whenever you're faced with a choice, or a challenge, or an opportunity, don't ask what's easiest. Ask yourself, right here, in this moment, what would the best version of me do? The answer will show you the way.
If you're ready to take back the pen and finally start writing your own story, make sure you subscribe for more explainers that will help you change the way you think.